the walk, the gate that opens all doors, the gate that you can spend a great deal of time and attention on. And it's the gate where it benefits all other gates. But the issue, and I hear this from a lot of students, is how do I do this and not become bored myself? How do I do it and not make my horse bored as well? My name is Chris Adderson. I'm the founder of Harmony for the Horse. I approach riders and how we seek and we search for our own true, pure movement. That's functional movement for our bodies. And then we turn that into being able to help our horses to do exactly the same. Are we being intentional about the way we walk? Are we intentionally moving from our spines when we walk? Like for us as riders in everyday life, but also when we're with our horses in hand or on the horse's back. Are we being intentional with what we are doing? And this is the key, because if we're not being intentional, this is where the boredom can come in. There's going to become a point where you're going to want to help your horse more. There's going to be the point where you're going to feel like, I've exhausted all of these possibilities, and the boredom sets in for your horse as well. And so I want to get more about what I'm doing. Why you want more is because you want more longevity for your horse, right? You want to be able to ride your horse as long as possible and have the horse feel good. And for your own depth of knowledge. It comes to a point where you reach the ceiling of your knowledge and you need more, right? For you to keep carrying on and not be bored, you need to be inspired. And you need to find your pure functional movement. And this applies to all horses, all ages of horses, all fitness levels, all body states of horses, even if horses have injuries. With this type of approach, you can help your horse with an injury. So here are the ways that I suggest that you can avoid the boredom. And number one, the one that I absolutely love, that is so much fun, and that is to engage in a dialogue with your horse. You can get completely lost in the walk if you have a dialogue with your horse. That's what we ultimately want, isn't it? And the dialogue is about balance. The dialogue is, how do you balance your spine? I'm going to set your body up in a place where it's the most easiest place for you to find your functional movement. Now let's see if we can do it together, right? This is our goal. And there's no better place than to do this type of dialogue around the balance than in the walk. And then to also condition it with the different exercises that we can do, right? So once you've established that the hint of the pure functional movement for your horse, then you can take it to the different exercises, not the reverse. And that is the way that most riding is taught, is opposite to what we need to do. So in the walk, with this approach, we can focus on our spines. We can focus on the footfalls and correct placement and movement of these things, right? You can slow things down so much and enough that you are creating a shift within your horse. A shift, I don't just mean physically, but yes, physically also, but a shift mentally and emotionally within your horse, because they are understanding how to use their spine, and therefore they can understand their limbs better. They become more aware of all of this. They're more aware of where their body is in space and how their legs are moving and how they have freedom of their legs because they're carrying their spine. How you can feel it, and then how your horse can feel it. Because again, then this is the opposite of way riding is traditionally taught. And let me know if this resonates with you. If you've experienced where you're being told what to do, okay, let's go down the right rein and let's do an inside bend and let's do a leg yield over to the center and put your leg here and your outside leg there and your hand here and your leg, right? Doing stuff being told to do stuff without the focus on the feeling of it and the actual pure movement that you're searching for and entering into a dialogue. It can get very boring very fast just being told what to do. And you get into that rut of being told what to do. And then you can't get out of it sometimes, and you don't even realize you're in that rut. So if this is creating a different approach and a sense of awareness to you, let me know if this resonates with you. Put a note for me below. Now, there are two components of functional movement that always remain the same throughout whatever you do. And if you get these two things, then you've got it. And those are carrying the spine and seeking lengthening. And both of those things in all dimensions, longitudinally, laterally, rotation-wise. When we are using these two principles and we're setting up our bodies and our horses' bodies in the best possible place, this is where they can find functional movement. And this is where it becomes where they're involved and they're not bored. Right? They look forward to the work because it's not boring, because there's so much depth to it and there's so much dialogue, and it just becomes fun. Another way that you can avoid the boredom in your work at the walk, and what I've already told you will like just get rid of it completely. You have understood your basic functional movement of the spine and all 4 feet. Okay, for your horse. Once you've understood that basic information and feeling, you know what it feels like in your body, then, and for the basic movements like go forward, what does that feel like? Turn, what does that feel like when your horse is functionally moving? Then that's when you can explore more stylized walk, like the school walk or the Spanish walk, which are lots of fun for horses too. And my Andalusian used to absolutely love the Spanish walk. And sometimes when he would get confused, he would start doing the Spanish walk just because he loved it and he knew that it was something that was great to do. Understanding the basics first of going forward, knowing how your horse is carrying its spine and using all 4 feet. That's how we teach it in our program. It's simple. What is the best way to initiate and support carrying of the spine? The best way is to join my program, actually. You can jump into my program right now and find out the best way to initiate and support carrying of the spine. When you go deep into this type of movement and when you go deep into this approach, you see that it's not boring anymore. You can spend, like, I can get lost in this type of thing. And I do every day when I ride my horse. You can just get totally lost in your ride because the dialogue just goes back and forth. And the other day I was working on Piaffe with my horse. And the dialogue was just incredible. The split-second dialogue that's happening, right? I can't go forward because you're going to ask me to go back again, right? It's okay. Don't worry. It's okay. We can do this. Find your place of power. Carry your spine. Find your straightness. These kinds of things are what's happening in the dialogue as we go back and forth. And this is what makes it so intriguing when it's not boring anymore. It's ever evolving. And there are exciting developments that happen when you approach the walk in this way. And it's all basically for the betterment of you and your horse. So if you'd like support in any way that I've talked about here, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Enjoy your walk with your horse. All right, bye for now.